Hey there, everybody. In this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to move by bike. So we're going to be moving from this vacation rental to our more permanent apartment in the city here. And we're going to do it via Omnium cargo bike. We just picked this up from Barcelona, and it's a good thing because we have like 2 or 3 days to get everything over there. And we're gonna be making multiple trips. I've been doing test loads. We've got some large things to carry. These are our bike cases. I think this is the first thing I'm gonna bring over. So although it's kind of big and bulky, it's not necessarily heavy. The next step from that would be to bring our suitcases, which are both big and dense and heavy, and rinse, repeat. We have a couple of small items like camera gear, and what I think I'm gonna end up doing, if it works out, is using the suitcase as sort of a trunk and just strapping it down to the front here. Got a mix of some cam straps, which I just learned are called trinquets, and some austere manufacturing straps. Unfortunately, I didn't have one that was long enough, otherwise I'd try it with both. And yeah, so here's the bike. It is the Omnium Minimax. Omnium offers 3 of them. This is the middle size one. And as you guys know, I am not new to the front loading cargo biking game. I used to run a photo business in Los Angeles with a cargo bike that was very similar to this, a little bit longer. This is essentially the same design if you shorten it up with disc brakes and all that stuff. I think the first challenge is to figure out how to get this downstairs. I think I'm gonna attempt to take it down the elevator.
So future Russ here, I know what you're thinking. Why is he worried about getting the bike down the elevator when he clearly got it up? When we picked it up from Barcelona, I removed the cargo rack, which attaches to the front with only 4 bolts, by the way. We took it on the train that way just to minimize the width. And when I brought it up initially, it didn't have the cargo rack on there. So I knew it would fit that way, but I wasn't quite sure how well it would fit with the actual rack installed. So let's get back to the video.
The bike only first, free lock it, and then come back for the stuff, bring it down, load it up outside, and go from there and come back, and vice versa, rinse, repeat. So I love this rainbow strap. It's kind of like a Rivendell Josh Irish strap on steroids, or John's Irish strap on steroids. Keys, lock, very important. Put these off to the side for a hot second, and we'll see if we can get the bike out. One cool thing you'll notice about this Omnium is that it comes with a really herky kickstand, which is super essential for loading the bike. Let's get this to the elevator. So this will be a challenge. Oh shit. Oh geez. Oh god. How am I gonna fit? Am I in? So yeah, a little big, but it'll get there in a pinch. Definitely interesting situation here. My neighbors are gonna hate us. Okay, setting it down slowly. Okay, 2 bike cases rolled up. There. Balance the load. Got our 2 straps. Sí, la café está aquí.
Es por aquí.
Sí, sí. Okay. All right, we got 1 strap on. Let's get another one. So I'm using 1 austere manufacturing strap. This is actually 2 daisy chained together to make a longer one. And I had to pick up one of these ones from the hardware store. You put the lock here. It's funny, usually I gripe about how heavy a lock is, but when you're carrying this much stuff, it's kind of negligible at this point. Okay, let's see how it goes. Okay, the steering seems to clear, which is pretty good. Oh, shit. It's pretty wild that you can't see the front wheels. A little unnerving, but you get used to it. Let's see how it goes. Woo. A little wobbly at first, but actually not too bad. Okay. Yeah, once you get going, it seems to hold its line pretty well. But just getting started, it's a little tricky. All right. Tricky part is I am a bit of a wide load here to negotiate some crowds. But so far so good. Okay, feels a lot better once you get the speed going for sure. Definitely the strange foreigner on the bike. Okay. All right. Definitely think the trickiest bit is when you're riding slow speeds, it just gets a little wobbly. But once it gets going, it actually holds its line really well. Not too bad. I think I have a green. Okay. Oh, traffic jam. Get around here. Okay. Up on this weird bike infrastructure. Little gravel grinding. Made it to the first destination. Dropped off the first load so you can see how the platform looks like. What's cool about this is these actually extends. You'll see it's got this cargo webbing. It's the perfect MOLLE strap size to put a U-lock on there. Okay, so that was my first load. What do I think so far? First honest opinions. It's pretty good. It's a little wobbly at first, and I think that's to be expected with like such a big bulky load in the front. But once you got going at, let's say, over 7 miles per hour, it stabilized. Really, really love the kickstand for loading the bike. Essential to have a good one. I got a kick that comes with a hand actuated dropper, you know, the kind I like. This is a size medium and I've got short legs, so again, my saddle's already pretty low. The bars are good, I like the shape. The grips are high density foam, not as squishy as the silicone grips I like, but not too bad. I might shorten the stem just a bit. Gives me a little bit more clearance here in the front, but otherwise pretty good.
As you guys know, moving is stressful. I didn't do a lot more piece to cameras during the rest of this because I was just really focused on getting it done. Suffice it to say, when the bike is unloaded, it's actually pretty surprisingly quick. To my mind and my memory, it feels like it accelerated a little bit better than the Blinky. I think this might be a function of generally being a shorter bike and slightly lighter bike, but definitely surprisingly quick and nimble for something so long and ungainly. The best way I can describe the front end handling is it's sort of like riding a Brompton with a really small wheel. Both have really low trail, so when there's nothing on the bike, it feels overly responsive, but once you put a load on there, it normalizes, stabilizes, and feels like a normal bike. I use the bike to move over the course of 3 days and carry different loads, everything from densely packed suitcases, as you see in this B-roll. I would empty it out, pick up more stuff, and bring it over to the new place. I also used it to carry some loose boxes, which was kind of an interesting challenge to make sure things wouldn't slide off. It did well with that. Probably the most ungainly load, however, was carrying over a park tool repair stand. You guys know that those things are pretty heavy, so I had to position it in a way that it just wouldn't slide off the front rack. It handled all those loads really, really well. I mean, it wasn't going that far, maybe a little bit over a mile. In terms of carrying stuff, it did a great job. For me, the gearing that they chose works okay for a flattish city or the flat part of the city. But if you're gonna do any serious climbing, you're definitely gonna wanna go with a full-on mullet setup in the back and most likely a smaller chainring in the front. If there's anything I'm not liking about the bike so far, is that it's a little big given our living conditions at the moment. It takes up a lot of room inside. There's no real good place that I would want to park it outside safely. I thought our garage would have at least like a railing or bike staple, but it doesn't. So I end up having to schlep it up the elevator or the stairs. And taking up the elevator can be a dodgy proposition because they usually have glass mirrors and you don't want to break those. There was one time when I was in the elevator, as the door was closing, the front wheel caught the sliding door and just jerked the entire bike to the side. And that could have gone a lot worse, but thankfully I wasn't hurt. That is one thing to consider when purchasing a cargo bike in general, or this cargo bike specifically. If you've got a garage or a large elevator, then it's probably less of an issue. But if you live in, kind of a tight Euro dwelling, this might not be the best choice. Probably the Omnia Mini would be a better choice, or other cargo bike options like the Petite Pourtour or the Unit. I will say this about this bike: it's probably the most fun I've had on the bike in a while. There's just something fun and subversive about carrying all sorts of random stuff in a densely packed place and doing something like a move. It seems like something you're not supposed to do, but you can do anyways, like a secret superpower. So that was super fun for me. I remember when I was 20 years younger, that's something I enjoyed. So it kind of rekindled that a little bit. If you want to be notified for when I release the full-on review, definitely hit that notification bell. And if you like this content, please consider supporting the channel. We're unsponsored. And that's only possible when we don't have to rely on the algorithm to make clickbaity videos. And we're supported by our Patreon supporters. So check out those links below. And as always, keep the supple side down.